All right, welcome back to another weekly watch list session. Uh, Beautiful day, Sunday. Getting ready for the upcoming week, second week of the year. Last week started off very slow and kind of in that range of regular activities that we saw on December, and things were kind of as expected. Personally, I thought that we're probably gonna have this for a few months. Doesn't matter if it's a new year, but hopefully things can change by moving forward to mid January. Um, Probably we'll see more of activities, and we can always have that kind of confidence every day that we woke up and make a trade. Uh, for me personally, on last week Friday, if you guys watched the recorded live, and if you guys attended to the live, you guys see that I wasn't really even be able to find a good setup to um, kind of play with it, and then let it even you know move on for another hour after market open. It was super dry. Things were pretty slow, and when those stuff happen, I don't really have interest to um, sit down behind my desk, and it's not really healthy. I mean, that's my personal preference. I don't really like to sit down and just stare at some paint dry, and expect to make money out of illiquidity when there's no liquidity. So that's for me personally, and I always tell you guys, if there's nothing wrong to not trade at all for a day. And sometimes the better trade is no trades at all, and you gotta keep that in mind. You gotta have that in your discipline, and make sure that forcing trade, it's not gonna take you to anywhere. It's actually very opposite. It can really hurt you. It can go against you and do a different thing to your account. So that was our kind of like the beginning of the week. We had some activities going on, and then last Friday wasn't doing anything. I left my desk, and I decided to just not even look at what's going on with the market and all that. And we also kind of receive some news about Bed Bath and Beyond, the meme stock, the old school company. I think whoever grew up in U.S., they knew how the how famous is Bed Bath and Beyond, and it's very unfortunate to see another brick and mortar company is going out of business. They announced that um, warned their actually investors that they're quickly running out of funds. They're struggling, have so much problems. Beside the fact that we had BBBY as a meme stock, and there was all these army of Wall Street Reddit uh, traders were behind this when I think it was 2020, 2021, and all that. GameStop happened, and all those meme stock became trend. BBBY was one of them, and then lots of institutional, lots of other short traders got racked, and they also warned in a longer term. Obviously, they made their money. Obviously, they short. They they won more than those people that are back holders. They believe all those nonsense and crap that has been going on with all these meme stock and whatever. and unfortunately a lot of people blew up their accounts um, in instantly, and also those people that are back hold, uh, they blew up their account pretty much in a very long term. So I can assume that how many people bought this stock at this $30 back in those time. And I think this was yeah, we had this going on for a long time. I think Bed Bath and Beyond $50 and then $30. All those people who bought this at the toppest uh peak, like toppest area. I can assume that there are a bunch of people still holding this, and you know hoping. This is the hoping phase. As I mentioned in the last video, I show you guys a chart. I hope you guys watch it. If you haven't watched it, go back, watch this wisdom, trading wisdom that I put it out. It's really helped you. It's kind of like showing you in a real time right now with the BBBY chart. If you're not having any plan, if you're not dedicating your time to learn how all these things work, and if you just gambling, if you're just sitting there want to become a rich person so quick, so fast, that's those stuff are sadly is very toxic. Lots of people are still believe that kind of mentality. If you even talk with a lot of people, it's very hard to really explain how things really works, especially when it comes down to stock market. I mean, you can see that if every person are able to click buy and sell and tell oh, I'm a trader, you just kind of have to make sure that he or she is in a good mental health. If they're not gonna kill their accounts, they're not gonna destroy themselves. Like, I dealt with those kind of people a lot. I teach people, I try encourage people to really see other part of it, see how they can make a consistent profit out of a system that has been proven for a very long time. It's a wealth proven, but sadly, people are lazy. A lot of people don't really want to dedicate their times. They want quicker way of making money, impatience, and well, I mean, this is always the case. I mean, if you go ask from any traders out there, any person that you follow, they tell you the same thing. It's the reality of human behavior. It's just not a lot of people are able to put it in the work and test it out, find their own edge, find their own strategy. Not a lot of people even dedicated towards those things. They want easy script, just follow whatever they could, and then expect to win every single time. That's never gonna be the case. But yeah, with BBBY, we had all these meme stuff going on, and that thing is just coming to the end. And stock plumbed to 134. I haven't even checked except today. Actually, I don't even look at this anymore because of not even stock is not even a tradable stock anymore. It's just very sad to see that another company like this one, like Toys and Ross, and Radio Shack, and all those brick and mortar or Fry's, all those companies are. This one is also going out, and this is a warning for lots of other companies that are in the same sector. So we have to really keep on watch and make sure that if you have a long term investing in the consumer industry like this, or retail, it's just you have to make sure that you're not gonna take that business risk, because there's like always a non-systematic risk involved, and you want to kind of like look at that as well. So don't only rely on the systematic risk, which is market risk and economy and all that. I mean, obviously those are affect inflation, also all that affects the company in so many ways, but it doesn't necessarily means that you should forget about their financials, how much debt they have, and all those fundamental analysis that you need to do and figure out if your investment is in the right place or not. So Bed Bath and Beyond, and probably we might see more of these bankruptcy news. Also, not forget the recent news that Amazon announced in the 18,000 layoff, I believe 18,000 layoffs, and that's also hitting big on overall market, and that can be an ignition of everything for this year. Few months back, I explained to you guys 2023, brace yourself, get ready, cash up, have liquid, have saved up. Don't really invest on something that you don't even understand. Don't even I know it's very difficult for a lot of people. It's a difficult situation. They don't know where to put their money. They don't know how to get return on everything. Obviously, day trading is the best place to do that, but not a lot of people have that commitment. Not a lot of people have that knowledge yet. But there's nothing wrong to learn. There's always study materials and all that things. So it's really good to really focus on where you want to accumulate your time, accumulate your money. It's going to be very difficult this year. People are very scared. There's a lot of fears going on in the market, and people they don't even know how to figure out where exactly is the best place to put their money for a long-term perspective. Obviously, my thesis is just as I always said, stay up, cash. I think even I think Amazon founder Jeff Bezos said that do not really buy unnecessary stuff you don't have to. So you gotta have that mentality, even as a bigger money makers out there. They also saying that it's very it's something that you should keep that in mind. I mean, we're in this recession, so it's just a start. This year is just a started. It's not gonna finish. It's probably gonna be very ugly by the end of the year or coming to other months. So that's pretty much it. We also have the Bed and Bath and Beyond, and then another ICR conference between JP Morgan and some CPI reports. I think we do have that. We have earnings also. Yeah, I believe the January 12th. This is gonna be January 12th. It's gonna be our it's going to be the CPI news at 8:30. So that probably it's going to be the biggest one. So Fed probably still very harsh on rates and all that. So we got to watch what's going to happen on January 12th. So that's also important. I mean, we trade small caps. We don't see that much of effect of it, but obviously it's always good to know what exactly going on with the overall market. If there is not much of bullishness, we might not see much of liquidity across the market, and then it could be vice versa. So it's always good to look at the overall market and make sure that you pay attention to it. Without further ado, let's get into our watch list. And before that, Uh, just a disclaimer. Only all the materials here, it's only for study and educational purposes. It's not for investment suggestion or anything like that. If you guys okay with that, that's good. If not, you can leave this and not watch it and move on. So let's get started to our watch list. We have ATNF, still ATNF running as expected. Last week I talked about ATNF. We had this on our watch list, number one watch list, and uh, came out very solid. Um, this was they came out with another PR on Monday, January 3rd. 180 Life Science regains full compliance with Nasdaq minimum bid price requirement. So I mean the news is not really that something, but definitely that moves the price up. There's some uh, activities obviously has been going on for few days. We had this from last Friday, not this Friday, from uh, before New Year. We had this ATNF, and then continuation to last Friday. Um, so far, the institutional owner is like 15%, so not that much. So I'm assuming that there's definitely some insiders going on, as we already hit this 715. We traded so many times. My goal is to watch this for the upcoming weekend. If on the technical part we're probably gonna see this, kind of hold this trend line and continuation. That's what I'm looking for. If this trend line really holds, on my obviously on the technical part, still that upper trend line, and has not really completely cracked the death cross. I just have to kind of like adjust my lines. Obviously, this is really old. These lines are needs to be adjusted. So we don't need those, but I just wanted to show you guys for the past few weeks how did I traded this a few times. I took a trade on this one, and it was pretty good actually. Long trade on this, and we already alerted this on our scanner. So that's what I'm looking for the upcoming week. See if ATNF will have continuation. There's definitely a gap to $8, but I don't think much of the resistance after that could stop this. It probably gonna break through that if ever hit $8 range, and then we might see another pullback and another opportunity. So far still in that upper trend line. I'm kind of like the overall look of the stock. I don't think we're still done with this yet. Hasn't crossed the death cross. That's why I'm kind of like okay to see if this there would be more activities and more volume, obviously, by Monday and following week. So next one we have BLPH. BLPH was a runner on, I believe this was on Thursday. We had this on Thursday. Pre-market runner. Pretty much most of the gain on this one made on pre-market. Only on the pre-market. The reason that I put it on the watch list, I haven't seen a death cross, or I haven't seen any crack yet. My expectation after the pre-market and all these die down, never try to make a new high, even in the afternoon. When that didn't happen, my expectation was like short attack and possible crack, and to really drop down to $1.70. That's my last support here, and even below that. But that didn't happen. still above that, VWAP range. Overall, holding that 2 days in a row, which is not out of an idea to look for the third day, see how the third day works, if it's going to really crack down or have continuation. They have a recent PR, Beller Phone Therapeutics announced license agreement for the commercialization Inoplas in Greater China with Baylor Bioscience. So that's their headline. And news is positive because they're going to expand this their company in China. So we know that what's gonna happen when things go into China. There's gonna be a lot of it's a USA company, so there's gonna be a lot of manipulators. Obviously, a lot of Chinese investors, they want to invest and you know definitely pump. That would be their goal, and then all of a sudden they dump all of their shares. So that's normal if they invest in the U.S. company. So that's what I'm kind of like moving towards to see if there would be any activities on this one. And then we have their offering. Actually, they have offering which could expire anytime if they don't really execute it. We'll watch this for another run, possible run to 350, which is already hit that natural resistance, and 4 would be the max. I don't think after that we might see much of that. So it's also a good short candidate. So probably if not next week, if this thing's not gonna run up again, it's probably gonna fade out and continue to sewer down. So BLPH was that, and MEGL, my last on our watch list. We have a short watch list, but we have so many back pocket watch lists, obviously. MEGL, this one, another really good gapper candidate so far. I mean, as you guys can see, the lines that I traded on this. It's a Hong Kong company. Really great candidate for pump. So far, I already hit that target that they wanted. But my thesis on this, they also have 63% inside ownership. My thesis on this is we had this HKD going on the same day as same kind of pattern with the MEGL. Both are Hong Kong companies, and obviously the HKD, I believe it's a software company, and MEGL is more of a financial company. So my thesis is if they probably have something going on between themselves. I assume that every gap on HKD, it's also have some continuation with MEGL. That's why I put it on the watch list to want to see that if we're gonna see that gap with the sympathy play with the HKD. Obviously, HKD is not my cup of tea, and it's definitely not should not be your cup of tea if you don't know how to trade high spread stock like this. It's very dangerous if you don't know exactly properly enter and exit. I mean, market order on these stuff, or it's very dangerous. I mean, I can tell you that. I mean, if you guys seen HKD in the past, HKD went to 2,500. I think I remember that day. It was September. Lots of shorts were blowout of that crazy halt festival, and then $2,000. So we have seen these pump due to a liquidity problem that they have, and lots of bag holders, obviously, and obviously it could be some of those long term short on this, and some covering took places. That's why it kind of ran up again. So definitely not a candidate to look forward to it. I don't really like this stock, as I'm not really interested to the spread. It's just not my type of setup. I prefer something more reasonable, something more in this price range, and if it's lower float, that's awesome. If it's not, That's if there's a setup, that's not a problem at all. So MAGL is, I think it's 7 million float only, and BLPH 9 million. So these are relatively lower float stock. Even 18F is a pretty much micro float. It's 1.41 million float. So yeah, this we might see some activities by the next week on one of these stocks. So yeah, on the other side, for the swing trades, I do not have any swing. Last time we had our Man United, took our profit, as I mentioned. I already closed that position, and I have no interest of holding it anymore. I think Man U went up to 23. Obviously, that was the target I was looking for. I took my last profit 23, I don't know, 23.21 or something, and then it definitely hit much higher than that range, and then still fade out 22. So it's been a great ride. I think we made over 15% of that swing call. But this week I don't have anything in place, as I'm really want to monitor how the short terms plays out and pick the right stock for the swing. So hopefully I can see how things will plays out this week in the market, and find a great another good stock for a swing. So that would be the whole idea. Anyway, that's our Sunday weekly session. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Also, sign up to our newsletter. You get this all information for free, pretty much. And if you remember, you always get everything posted before I send to the email all the free members, and obviously that's always the case. So take care, team. Talk to you guys tomorrow on Monday.